Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. And today we'll talk about conditional statements. Conditional statements includes if, else, elif, and we'll dive down deep into each one of them. So we will just I have my Jupyter notebook open, and we'll just write a code using if statement. So we'll say x is equal to 5. Then we write if x is less than 10, then we'll say you'll have to print s- smaller than 10. If x is less than is greater than 10, then we'll ask them to print. Okay, computer, now you need to print greater than 10, and we'll say okay, execute. So it prints smaller than 10. Now let's understand what these statements actually mean. So we'll hover back to our whiteboard, and let's see over here. So what does this statement actually means? Is so what we are doing basically is this is x is equal to 5, is we are assigning the variable x the value 5. So now what is done is it checks if. So you write if, which is a reserved keyword, and it says okay, if now it knows the value of x is 5, so it says okay, x if less than 5, then we'll have to print smaller than 10. If x, which is 5 stored in the memory location, is greater than 10, then we'll print greater than 10. Now as we all know that x is less than 5, so it checks the statement and it's like okay, we will print this. Now it checks this statement. So this is the first statement it is checking. The second statement it is checking is okay, if x is greater than 10, which is false, so it won't print anything. Now just remember, whenever you're writing if, you'll have to put these two colons. So these two colons are important, or else you'll have a syntax error, as we discussed in our previous videos. S- and this gap which you see out here, this is known as indentation, and these indentations are very important. Why these indentations are important? Because indentations helps you form blocks. So this becomes one block. So this block will run first, then we'll go forward, and we'll go ahead to run this block. And and that is why the indentations are important. So what is saying, for this condition this needs to be done, for this condition this needs to be done. So you have made it very clear, okay, for for condition x less than 10, computer, you should go ahead and print smaller than 10. For x greater than 10, computer, you should go ahead and print greater than 10. So this is just a very basic introduction to if. We'll do a lot of hands-on going forward. The second thing which you need to which we'll be diving into is comparison operators. Now comparison operators, as you can see on my screen, you can pause the video or take a screenshot of it. So these are the operators. So this is greater than, this is less than, this is equal to, this is not equal to, this is less than equal to, this is greater than equal to, this is less than equal to. Now what we see here is this. So this is uh, equal to, just remember that this x equals 5 is, this is a assignment statement where we are assigning the value of x to be 5, but this equal to is a comparison statement where we are asking okay, x, are you actually, equal to 5 or not. So this is the basic mistakes which programmers do at an early stage. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys keep this in mind. Going forward, we will understand what nested if is. So what is nested if is basically, it is if inside a if. So now we'll go x is equal to, let's say, 50, and we say if x is greater than 0, print more than 0. Then what we'll do is we'll write an if inside an if. So again, you see, as I said, this becomes one block, this becomes separate, but over here we are not breaking the indentation, we are keeping the indentation intact, and we'll go, okay, if x is less than 100, for example, then we'll say, okay, then we'll say print less than 100. And once we do, okay, so x is greater than 0, x is less than 100, and we'll say, okay, now computer, please print this. So what it printed, it will print both these statements. It'll say, okay, it's more than 0 also and less than 0. And just let's see how this works for us. So for example, so we have this, and what it does is, so we have assigned the value 50 to x, and x becomes 50 here. So now we'll check if x is greater than 50, then it will be more than 0. So it passes the first condition. It does not see an indentation break here. It does not see an indentation break here. It's saying, okay, you are actually continuing going forward in this if only. So this statement will also be this statement. So we'll also consider this statement to be the part of this if only. So again, it sees, okay, if is less than 10, is less than 100, then it will be less than 100, which as x is 50 over here. So we can see, obviously it continues to be less than 100, hence it prints both these statements. This concept is known as nested if. Now what we've studied so far, if and nested if, these are actually nothing but one-way decisions. Now we'll dive into something known as two-way decisions. So as I taught in my previous lectures, we can just comment this out so that you can understand what we are doing. So we'll now discuss two-way decisions. This is where else comes into the picture. So now let's say x, let's just say anything, x is equal to 5, for example, and then we say, okay, if x is greater than 3, print something. We'll just say, just write greater than 3, then 3. Else, you see that I broke the indentation over here because I wanted to be sure, okay, else my else would not lie in the if block. So else, we'll go print less than 3, and we run the code. So it says, if you given me x equal to 5, then I run the statement out here, and I say, okay, x is greater than 3. Now what we'll do is we'll look into these differences. We'll just go, so we'll paste it somewhere here. Let's go. We'll bring it here. So now what we'll do is, now x is assigned the variable 5. It says x is greater than 3, then we'll print this. So if statement passes out here. So this becomes one block, this is another block, because we have broken the indentation here and we are following the indentation. So what else does is, the case above which you see, it checks this block, it checks this block. What is done here is, okay, it checks, okay, if x is equal to 3, I'll just go and I will execute this statement. So I'll give the final output. If x was not is was not equal to 3, for example, if we took x as 10, and 10 is not a satisfying condition, so this would have been false. It would have gone to the else statement, and it would have read, okay, sorry, we'll take it 1. So is 1 greater than 3? No. Then it would have been false. It would have gone to this greater than 3, and then it would have gone to else, and it would have said, okay, print less than 3, and that would have been an output had the value of x been 1. So what it is doing, once it finds one statement to be true, it it just runs that particular thing as the output, and that is why this is known as two-way decision. It is either this or this. Going forward, uh, now that we've understood what if is, what i- else is, there's something known as the combination of two, which is LF. Now what is this LF? So let's just say x is equal to, let's take 5 for example. If x is greater than 1, okay, let's say if x is greater than 10, which is not true, so we'll go print greater than 10. Now what we'll do is we'll check. Okay, now we write LF. So we are continuing IFF. If so, if LF, then x is equal. Just remember double equals as we've taught before. Okay, LF, if x is, then print equal. Then we'll go else, print smaller than 10, and we run this. So we see we get smaller than 10. What we need to understand over here is, we'll just go, and what we need to understand here is, so for example we have this, so this is the variable again. Now we will have three blocks here, this, this, and this. So we have three separate blocks here. If the first condition satisfies, then it goes directly into the output. If not, it will go back here. If this does not satisfy, if this satisfies, then it will go straight to the output. If it does not, then it will go to the else, last check, and then it will go to the output. So we see that we've used three blocks. So just we, in case we wanted to check if a number is greater than 0, equals to, and smaller than 10, instead of writing continuous if this else this, that is where L, LF comes into picture, and you say this is, and you can see this is a multi-way decisions that we are taking. So, and that is why it is known as multi-way decision. I hope things are clear till now. If you have any questions regarding these conditional statements, you guys can just let me know in the comment below. Before we actually move into try and catch, let's do one thing. Let's write a program where we, so whatever knowledge we have till now, we'll be using all of them. So what we will do is, uh, let's just write a program where we enter the marks of a student and we'll check what grade that person is getting. Pretty simple, very straightforward, but we'll use our input statement also out here. So first thing we'll say, okay, marks needs to be entered by the user. So input statement will be enter the marks. Once this is done, then we'll go forward. Now remember, as I said, any input statement always a string. So we will have to change its type. So we'll say, okay, marks, because marks is just a variable, we'll ask you to be float. float, and there you go, marks. So marks is done. We converted into float. That means it is moved from string. That means it can take decimal values and numbers. Very good. Now we say, now we let a if statement. If mass is greater than 80, then we'll say okay, you'll print a. Now we write L if. Else if. Else is basically else if max is less than 80 and max is greater than 60. I'll come to what and is in uh, in our future videos. Then we'll check if, then it'll say okay, I'll print the grade B. Then again we write else if marks is less than 60 and mass is greater than 40. We'll say print C. Now we know okay, my first block is if the computer understand, if the computer detects the number to be greater than 80, then we'll get A. If it detects to be in the range between 60 to 80, okay, I'll get B. If it detects to be in the range between 40 to 60, I'll get C. So there's nothing else that needs to be said. So we'll just write else, you print fail. And this is the first basic code that you have written using if, elif, and else. All that we've studied, and we'll press enter. So it says enter marks. So just we'll enter marks. Just say we enter 20.6 and we press enter. It says fail. Okay. Now let's run this code again and enter 97.2 and it says A. Let's run the code and just write 55.5. And there you go. It says C. So congratulations, you have written your first else if code, and you can explore a lot of code if you guys want. I can actually bring a set of examples and we can do it hands on. Just please let me know in the comment below. Now going forward into our last section for today, that is try and catch. So what is try and except statement? So let's talk about try except. So talking about uh, try and expect except, let's just look into a very small example. Just write okay, so sid is, just take this variable and we'll give it hello sid. Then we say try. Then I'll say okay, I will convert this into an integer. That is why I wrote I sid. It means integer sid. Int sid except integer sid is equal to -1, just for example. And then we'll say okay, now we'll print the statement. uh, we'll just let's just print sid. Yeah, we'll print I sid. Okay, and what result should we get is we'll get -1. Now let's try actually understanding why this is important in certain cases. So there you go. So we said okay, we'll have sid as hello sid. So this is string, right? And we say okay, try I sid. You're also a variable. What you do is you store the integer value of sid. Now we know that string cannot be converted to integer. So what it will do is it will give you something known as, and this is what I've spoken previously also, traceback error. So what it will do is it will give you something known as a traceback error. To prevent this traceback error, we use try and ex except. So what it does is now it goes to accept. Okay, so so this error would not come now, so you won't see an error on your screen. And we say okay, accept. It says I set to have a value of 1. It is anyways variable, right? So it can change. And then it says okay, so now I'll have a value 1. So what we'll do is we'll say okay, print I set, and then it executes -1. In the similar pattern, when you try it with a number, right? So as I had shown you examples previously, this is this is a string, this is string, but it has got some value. So this can be converted into an integer. This integer will be 1, 2, 3. If you look into a previous lectures, you'll find these examples. So once this is done, this block is not required. Okay, so this block is not required. We'll just remove, let's remove this, and okay, we get our result as 1, 2, and 3. So this is where try and accept come into picture, is just to prevent the traceback error, which I had explained previously while we talked about the types. So let's quickly, before we close, let's look into an example of try and catch. Just let's code something. So we'll say str sid. So this is string sid. We will take an input and we'll say enter a number. And this is enter a number. Next, what we'll do is we'll say try and we'll say integer sid. What you do is you convert this into, so let's do something. Let's just say not a number. Let's say anything. Enter anything, whatever you like. And okay, so what you have to do is you have to convert our str sid into integer. Then we break the indentation because we don't want it to be of that block only. And then we'll go okay, integer sid. Now you can go -1. Okay, now that we have this, let's just say we put a if condition now here. Everything that we've learned, I'm just trying to bring it together. Okay, so if I sid is greater than 0, print nice, else print noise. This is just a basic example, not something. So what we have done, user input, we are try and accept, and the if and else what we've learned previously, we are just building a program. This is a very small line of code about anything. So let's just say enter anything. So I enter 5. It says me 5 is greater than, sure it is greater than 0, so it forms this block. It will give you nice. Now just say, because we read and enter, I say okay, we will write Siddharth Sharma and press enter. It says noise. That means what it is doing, it is having the value -1 now. This -1 is going here because it is not greater than 0. It is printing noise for us. So this is the whole concept of conditional statement from my part. I hope you really enjoyed the video. Please share it with your friends who are learning Python. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day.